Wow, the hairstyle!
Damn.
It's like, just take my money, do something. He's mixing on the gas. Dude, compare these to like Stray Kids. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Perun here as well as Sue.
Yeah.
And in today's video, since we always do K-pop reactions on this channel, I thought that maybe we'll do a K-pop history in 20 minutes. This will basically explain all the history of how K-pop came about and all its little fun facts and stuff like that. I just want to say thank you very much to all of the patrons over at Patreon for supporting the channel, letting us continue doing these videos. And if you want to see K-pop reactions to any K-pop groups, head over to Patreon. And if you want to vote also for the next K-pop groups that we react to. And yeah, let's get into it.
Let's go.
There's one thing this video needs.
This is
K-pop!
K-pop.
K-pop. K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop. K-pop. K-pop.
K-pop taking the world over in storm.
Popular music originating in South Korea and encompassing a variety of styles. As you've seen, K-pop has grown exponentially.
Yeah.
Everyone in the world, like it or not, must
K-pop
have seen
went
a K-pop
insane, that's
video
true.
at least once, either if it's Gangnam Style or BTS.
Gangnam Style.
Yeah,
or one
Gangnam
K-pop
Style.
dancing
The
meme
first
on
one
Twitter.
to
But
reach
you might
1
not be
billion,
sure on
right?
what K-pop actually
Yeah.
is and where and when it began. Well, it
I
all
first
comes
heard
down
of
to a country
K-pop
called
from
South Korea,
Gangnam
a
Style.
peninsula
Yeah.
located in East Asia in between
Gangnam
China
Style.
and Japan. Korea was doing
Okay.
great with
Wow,
its
we're even
kingdoms
getting
and
history.
dynasties for more than 4,000 years until 1910 to 1945 when Korea was
Oh.
colonized by Japan. And from 1950 to 1950,
And then the
Oh.
war.
Korean War happened,
Korean War,
splitting
yeah.
Korea into North and South. Then Korea was stuck in the Cold War. Due to war and all, the economy wasn't that great. Thus, the music industry wasn't that public nor diverse. While Korea did have music like traditional sounds or Japanese-influenced trot. 1970s, economy got
grandma
a little
music.
better. Jeans,
Ooh,
acoustic
economy going
guitars, young
higher.
kids enjoying life. Rock, folk music happened. But still, the government doesn't like too much freedom and creativity. They want you to work,
Interesting.
work. 1980s, two words, folk songs and ballads. First, Korean
Ballads
ballads.
are still
Yeah.
People
strong.
like these dudes make ballads
Ballads.
really popular. Legendary dudes like Cho Young-pil pop out. Bands like Shinawi Drugukwa pop out. People start listening to these
Legendaries.
dudes instead of these dudes. Until the 90s, Korea gets rich. No one's unemployed. People call it the miracle of Han
Ooh.
River. Successful Olympics.
Kinda
CD
similar thing happened in
distribution.
Japan.
Kids get to wear Nike
The
shoes. buy
economy is
music, go
crazy
to concerts,
in the
clubs
90s
happen, dancing
and
becomes a
80s.
thing. Finally, the good old 90s arrived. Ding
Oh.
ding, hi, I'm K-pop. All these new genres
K-pop.
start to bloom. Hip-hop, dance, R&B, soul, gospel,
And they
of course,
combined
the
it all
popularity
together
of
to
ballads
K-pop.
and folk songs continue.
Yeah.
Now, all these artists start writing their own songs. A lot of singer-songwriters appear like Shin Sung-woon, Lee Seung-wan, Yoon Jong-shin, Jeolname, Toy, and more.
God, there's so
Boom,
many.
March
Toy.
1992, this dude named SeoTaiji appears out of nowhere. Well, actually, he was in the aforementioned rock band
SeoTaiji?
Shinawi as a bassist, so in the meantime, he was doing his own thing and explores the world of MIDI music, aka electronic digital. He's also a born rebel. He looks different. His crew dances like
Yeah.
crazy.
This really
Bands
reminds me of,
SeoTaiji
like,
Kids
90s
released an album
bands,
called
you know?
SeoTaiji with the title song called I
Like
Know. They
NSYNC and
sweep
stuff
all
like
the
that.
existing awards out there. Similar groups like these might be
Badass.
competitors, but SeoTaiji and Kids and their songs and performances
Backstreet Boys.
changed everything. Critics claim 1992 is the most important year in Korean pop music history. He
Ooh.
destroys genres like trot, ballad, and folk music. They released 4 albums afterwards until 1996. He mixes up hip-hop and
Damn.
traditional music in Hayoga. He also likes techno and even uses heavy metal rock in Classroom Idea, criticizing the Korean
Insane,
education
like
system.
different.
And then the public suddenly
sounds
tries to
together.
rewind the song and thinks he's Satan or gay. They keep on tackling
Gay.
social
What?
issues like reunification, environment, drugs, education. He's basically the Tupac of K-pop.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Tupac, he even touches gangster rap in his last album title, Come Back Home. And then they
Gangsta.
disband. More like disappear. Poof. Yup, just like that. Leaving one message. We've showed you everything we can try. Korea freaks out. Kids don't go to school. Protest.
They are
attempt
retired.
suicide.
What?
People say K-pop is dead. Well, false alarm. SeoTaiji and Kids might be gone, but their impact still lives.
This was like the
Listening, radio
rebel
equals winning. On the other
time.
hand, watching TV, performances, dance music, choreographies, style, competition equals cool. Young teenage fans, official fan clubs, fan meetings, fanfics, Hassing fans,
Crazy.
fan wars, capital, artist management. It was like a cult, and SeoTaiji and Kids were their idol. On the side,
So
the
many
tornado
Mickey
dance.
Mouse.
Damn,
I
so these
Know
guys
was
were
the
like
first dance choreo that
the
went
ones that
viral.
Yeah.
started it.
Now corporates see money in K-pop and idol businesses. Samsung, Doosan, Hyundai, LG, Daewoo, Lotte all make their own record
Sponsors.
companies and labels. Competition begins.
Wow.
Huge investments flow from their mother company. Ambitious scouting, projects, new market. But
They
no
all try
system
to
yet.
chase the
Expenses
new
over
group
issue,
like
no
that.
transparency. Business based on few inner circle connections. Result, obviously, all gone in a few years. Big
Bankrupt.
failure. But then there's
Yikes.
DSP. The founder Lee Ho-yeon had some actual experience managing big artists like Taejina, Yoo-hyul, Shim-shin, and Sobangcha.
Yeah, but
Sobangcha
they
was actually close to an
started
idol
without
group
any
model way before
experience.
Yeah.
SeoTaiji and Kids in
It's like,
1987.
just take my money,
However,
do
their
something.
music was more trot-based
Money
and
doesn't
had very
equal
simple dances.
success.
Thus, not as
Simple
impactful as an
dances.
idol group like SeoTaiji.
Dude, compare these to, like, Stray Kids.
His own label DSP in
Slow
1991
dance.
wasn't really successful during the SeoTaiji
They're
era.
dancing
Then in
in slow-mo.
1996 launches a group literally called Idol that initially had decent
Idol.
popularity but gets demolished by SM Entertainment's HOT.
Oh, I think
1996
SM
and
Entertainment is, like,
HOT
the
debuts,
biggest one.
hardcore rap, distinct
one of
fashion,
the
and
big
hairstyles,
ones.
criticizing society. HOT
Wow,
is
the
made by
hairstyles.
SM Entertainment, founded by Izuma
like
in short
exploded
SM.
hair.
Starts as SM Studio in 1989, then reforms into SM Entertainment in 1995. SM develops a systematic idol training system and earns huge success
Oh,
with HOT.
wow.
DSP gets mad. 1997, they throw out Tex Kids. SM activates their trap card. Girl group SES debuts in December 1997.
That's
Then
so
DSP
interesting to
says,
see, like,
well,
the
actually,
whole...
no, IMF says, everyone hold your fire. Korea will be entering the economic crisis. People lose jobs, businesses go bankrupt, half of the entertainment labels shut down, TV music programs get canceled. People are struggling. They're jumping off bridges, so they aren't really cool or interested about idols. Well, 1998 comes. SMB like, the show must go on. Pops out Shinhwa. DSP says, hold my beer.
That's when I was
Represent you,
born,
Finkel.
1998.
At this point, SM and DSP is the Marvel and DC Comics of this
Oh,
era.
okay.
HOT versus Tex Kids, SES versus Finkel, Shinhwa versus GOD. Well, GOD was actually produced by a third company called JYP and wasn't actually
Oh,
the entire
JYP,
group,
yeah.
but I'll get to that later. Each company and group shares the trophies and awards around music shows turn after turn, and of course on the way there were other groups like Baby Vox, Chakra, Cleo, and talented
Chakra.
solo artists like Yoo Seung-jun, Park Ji-yoon, Lee Jung-yeon as well. Looking back,
I wonder if
we now
they're
call
still
this
around,
era
some
the
of
first
these.
generation of
Maybe.
K-pop.
Probably
Meanwhile,
old,
you might be
though.
wondering,
Probably
whatever happened
soloists,
to
though.
SeoTaiji and the boys after they
be
disbanded?
older
I don't know
already.
about SeoTaiji himself, but one dude for
Taejin
sure
boys.
was planning something. Yang Hyun-suk, who was the rapper and dancer of SeoTaiji and Boys, was trying out his talent as a producer, but was kind of unlucky in the meantime. But anyways, opened up his own company, Hyun Label, in 1996, but kind of flopped with a group called Keepsakes. Then renames his company to MF Label and launches the hip-hop duo Jinushan. Jinushan surprisingly did pretty well, even though hip-hop was pretty new. Yang Hyun-suk was well known to have an influence and background in hip-hop dance and music. He was spotted in E-Tail and dancing all the time before his debut dates. So this background and success with Jinushan
Street
led him to
dancing.
reform his company into YG Entertainment and
YG
launched another hip-hop group called One
YG.
Time.
YG is the big one.
Yeah. Oh!
First
Ooh,
generation
nice.
of K-pop was
That's
sparked
so
by
cool.
SeoTaiji and Boys. Everything got systematic, like the trainee systems and all. Groups with crazy hair, crazy fashion, and dance music. K-pop still kind of strange, new,
Yeah,
but
crazy
popular to
fashion.
the public.
It
Kind of
was
trying
like-
to imitate American pop. While corporate-backed labels died with the
Yeah.
IMF crisis,
It was all new,
labels
so
with
they could
professional
just do
music
whatever they
background become
wanted.
Big, like DSP,
Just do the
SM,
crazy
and
stuff.
YG. It was
Right,
the
just
opening,
wear
a door
whatever.
to a new era, to the 21st century. Second generation begins. Wade says 1.5 gen. On the conversion to second gen, there is a transition stage. Surprisingly, a lot of solo artists who sing ballads, R&B, and groups that do ballads or rock become super popular. Song Shikyung, Hisung, Vibe, MC The Max, Buzz, The
A lot of
Cross,
soloists
EOS,
with
SB
ballads.
Wannabe. Then where'd K-pop go? Well, many talented solos were there to bridge the transition. The famous Boa, known as Asia's star, arguably the most successful solo female K-pop artist in
Boa.
history, from SM Entertainment.
Yeah, I
Got
think I heard of
casted by
her before,
Izuman himself
Boa.
and debuted at August 2000. Also debuted in Japan. Critics state Boa is one of the biggest contributors and
Debuted in
pioneer in
Japan?
opening foreign markets for K-pop and SM. Boa gets to
Interesting.
get all these first, youngest, most
10
blah, blah,
million,
blah
so
titles
she
and
hit
rewrites
all the
K-pop
records.
Yeah.
history. Other solo artists also kept the K-pop flame burning with competition such as Rain,
Rain?
and Seven. Speaking of
Rain!
Rain, let's get back to
Oh
JYP.
my God, when I was
Park
young, I
Jin-young, aka
loved
JYP,
Rain.
is this dude that was active during the
Never heard
SeoTaiji
of it.
era as well. Initially got refused
Rain,
numerous times
he's so
from labels
handsome.
due to his weird face and body, but finally debuts in 1994
Weird face and
as
body,
a
I
solo
forgot.
artist. Tale is, SM
Yeah,
himself
Park
rejects
Jin-young, isn't he
JYP from an
JYP?
audition.
Do you remember
but
the
later
guy
asked
who
in
was
private
dancing
just
with-
to
Oh, that's
perform
the dad?
songs JYP
I think it's
produced.
him, yeah.
JYP is extremely talented in dancing
The
and
one
also
that's
being
dancing
sexy,
with,
which was a
like a
first for a
girl.
male at that time.
Yeah.
Won many number ones during the era, even with the competition with SeoTaiji and Kids. Became a singer-songwriter and
Yeah, that's
producer
him.
and made hit songs
Yeah.
like Honey and Swing
He's
Baby.
old
With
now.
that experience, goes on as a producer, producing G.O.D, once called the Nations Group, and also excavates Park Ji-yoon, who sang Adult Ceremony, also produced by JYP. And in the midst of that, makes his own company, JYP Entertainment. Back to Rain. Rain was a back dancer of JYP and Park Ji-yoon. JYP trained Rain and debuted
Interesting.
him, also giving him many
Ooh, I
hit
didn't
songs
know
like
that.
How to Avoid the Sun and It's Raining.
That's
Yeah,
Rain, right?
Rain is like, yeah, my childhood.
Boa from SM, Rain from JYP, Seven from YG. This is when we start to see the three
So they had,
companies
like,
grow and
soloists
become
at
the
that
now-known
time.
big three of K-pop: SM, JYP, YG. Another
then they
fun
do
fact
in
about
groups.
the 1.5 generation is that many solo artists tried their luck after disbanding from the first generation groups, like Kangta, Pada, Okjuyeon, Eunjiwon. However, to be honest, their
Interesting.
popularity wasn't like before. Except maybe Iori, former Finkel member that was least popular among the members, but suddenly pops up with a sexy solo debut and becomes Korea's diva. Finally, it's second gen. The idol
Sounded like
groups are
Shakira
back,
a little
and
bit.
the
I
public
love
is
it.
used to the word idol. SM
Idol.
Entertainment introduces TVXQ in 2004.
TVXQ.
I remember
Awards. Actually,
TVXQ.
all the awards.
Oh
Gets
my
a Taesang
God.
on their second debut year
That's
and gets a Grand
2004.
Slam in 2006. Another Grand Slam in 2008. Oricon
Old
chart
group.
#1 in Japan. It's not a stretch to say they basically conquered Korea, Japan, and China. SM got rich. They
Yeah.
make more groups like Super Junior in 2005,
More money,
Girls'
more
Generation
groups.
in 2007,
Yes,
Shiny,
more
and
K-pop.
FX in 2009. Super Junior becomes
Shiny.
extremely popular with songs like Sorry Sorry in China and
Yeah.
Southeast
Sorry,
Asia.
sorry,
Girls' Generation
sorry,
becomes
sorry.
the nation's girl group.
So
with
this is
stunning
like your
visuals and
era
powerful
of
songs
K-pop.
like Love You and Baby
When I was
Baby.
young, I
They
was
don't
more
stop
into
in Korea.
K-pop.
They go off to conquer Japan with their songs G, Genie, and O, bringing all those titles from Japan charts and album sales. Shiny puts out super addictive songs like Juliet, Ring Ding Dong, Lucifer,
Oh, it's a
and
Ring Ding
achieves
Dong
attention
song.
for mostly Japan and Southeast Asia,
Lucifer.
eventually touring all around these areas. FX shows the experimental side of SM. They carry a unique concept with all of their songs with obscure lyrics. Their unique electronic songs get very positive reactions from
Electric shock.
professional music critics. And note that we start to see non-Korean members, such as Victoria and Amber. With all these groups, SM is now all over Asia. Now, SM is
Damn,
big.
so
No
SM
group
was
could rival
killing it
TVXQ.
with the
Here comes
groups.
a big group, Big Bang.
Big Bang.
They had
Big Bang from
a
YG
concert
Entertainment
recently,
is a
I
little
think.
different. Debuted in 2006 as 5 members from a real survival program conducted by Yang In-suk himself. Big Bang places its roots into hip hop.
Bang.
2007,
My
they
number
released their
one
EP Always with the
group
song
when I was
Lies.
young.
This song was so big that it made them escalate to the top immediately. Then major hit
Damn.
songs after hit songs like Last Farewell, How to Out
I
of
love
Red
the old
Sunset
school
make them the
hairstyles.
unquestionable
Yeah.
#1 group in Korea. They go on doing solo work,
Da,
Japan
da,
activities,
da,
world
da.
tours,
Bang.
sleep
Oh my
awards,
God,
pointless
my-
to list achievements.
so much
They go on further
nostalgia.
with their career with mega hits like Blue, Fantastic Baby, Loser.
Yeah, I
Baby,
remember
Bang
I
Bang
kinda
Bang.
got discovered
Big Bang
K-pop with
becomes
them
the
too
most
a little
popular,
bit.
influential
Yeah, I
listen
love
to
Big Bang.
group. No male group
G-Dragon
can
was
rival
my
them in the
favorite.
second gen except maybe early TVXQ.
I mean, they're so
The biggest
big,
point
it
that
was all over
differentiated
YouTube,
them
you
would
know?
be that the
Yeah.
general public, including men, loved and sang most of their hit
Dance,
songs.
dance,
Big Bang's
dance,
leader
dance.
G-Dragon produced most of these mega hit songs, not to
Oh,
mention his
G-Dragon.
successful
Why did
solo
G-Dragon
work
leave?
and
For the
lives as the
handsome
biggest
man.
Korean fashion,
Oh,
music, and
he went
trend
for
icon to this day.
Army.
So who is
No.
Girls' Generation's rival? then?
Oh,
In
Army.
YG Entertainment, probably 21.
Joined the
Four-member
Army.
group
21.
debuted in 2009 with a very different concept, strong female image. Releases
Yeah,
mega hits
21
like Fire, I
and
Don't Care,
Big
Go
Bang were
Away,
like
Lonely,
good
I Am the
friends, I
Best.
think.
They were the best. Ranked as one of the best K-pop groups of the past decade by Billboard, and a female group that finally offered
they were
an
my favorite
alternative
female
concept from the
group.
traditional pretty cutesy girl group stereotype. Girls' Generation and 21 weren't rivals in style because they were so different. However, the two groups were huge and probably the most successful girl groups in
Ooh.
second-gen K-pop history. Speaking of girl groups, we have to go back to JYP because JYP is known as
What
the
is
girl
JYP
group
doing?
Royal Company. Wonder Girls is among one, debuted in 2007.
always has the girl
but
group.
made
I think I
Oh
know
my
why.
God.
viral hits
I remember
within the
watching
nation
this
and
music
Asia due to
video
their
and I was
simple
like-
catchy point dances. In 2008 Haiwon Seoul Music Awards, they received their first Taesang as a
10.
girl group competing with Big Bang and TVXQ. Before Girls' Generation got extremely popular, they had the nation's girl group title in 2007 to 2008.
Yeah.
Their style was distinct compared to Girls' Generation in
I guess they
21
only
because
did
it was
girls
mostly
groups.
retro pop or electro funk. Wonder Girls were the first to appear on an American TV show, showing the possibilities of expansion of K-pop to the West. Nobody was the first K-pop song to enter the Billboard Top 100 chart. On the other hand, JYP puts out boy groups such as 2PM and 2AM, who respectively have the
Ooh.
Monster Idol and Ballad Prince concept. 2PM
Never
does
heard of
especially
2PM or
well with
2AM.
hit songs like 10 out of 10, Again and
remember
Again,
them
and
because there was
Heartbeat,
2
also
PM and
becoming
2
a
AM.
sensation in Korea.
Good name though.
A member of 2PM from Thailand, showing that K-pop is surely expanding beyond China and Japan. Now, it would be safe to say that the second gen of K-pop was led by the mentioned groups. There are other groups such as 4 Minute who made a strong impact and shift on the concept of girl groups. Then there was Kara, produced by DSP, and were known as big competitors to the Wonder Girls and Girls' Generation.
Yeah, I remember
Japan
this song
went
too.
crazy over them. Everyone knew their songs and choreographies like Step and Mister. Now, can we move on third gen? Well, maybe
Third
yes or maybe
gen.
no. Some people
Oh,
draw the
okay.
line by 10 years, as in 2000 to 2010. Some experts draw the line by sudden inflation and saturation of groups.
Oh my God, Charlie and
Chocolate
Chocolate Factory.
Like East M Black, C and Blue, B1A from Block B, B8P, B2B,
Whoa.
X,
C and Blue.
For girl
My
groups,
brain.
After School Tiara, Rainbow Secret, Secret, Nisei, Nine Muses, Girls' Day, Sister, A-Pink, ESID, AOA, and more. So the groups that debuted in the late 2000s and early 2010s are tricky to categorize.
Plus, from this point on, please don't hate me for not going in depth of every single group or missing some of them, because that would change the title of this video to K-pop history explained in 200 minutes.
But if we were to say there was a dominant group of this
200 years.
transition era, it's EXO. EXO debuts
EXO!
in groups EXO-M and EXO-K. Another experimental approach from SM trying to divide and expand markets. Anyways, EXO wins, tops, and grows. China is basically...
Damn, so many people
EXO
already.
has the biggest and also most notorious fandom in Korea. That's how much people love EXO. They put out hit after hits like Growl, Overdose,
It was
Call
so
Me Baby,
big.
Monster, Loto. Their only rival might be the still yet
We did
hugely
do a reaction
successful
to them
Big
and they're
Bang.
crazy.
And then they slowly opened the doors to third gen. Now these are some of the characteristics of the third generation of
Also,
K-pop.
they were like
1,
kind of between
mass
2 and
inflation
3.
red ocean of idols, saturated
Interesting.
market. 2,
So they're not
globalization as a
3 yet.
norm, catching the global audience is a must. 3, idol audition survival programs. Because of the red ocean of idols, naturally the mass public begins to dislike K-pop idols due to lack of creativity, overlapping concepts, and exhaustion of idol music. This is when the public starts to divide the term idol with artist. Many major TV audition programs become popular looking for real talented singers and vocals rather than
that's how they
visually
did it.
appealing dance-based idols that only get to sing a few seconds
Yeah,
in one
be-
song. Well, this is what the public thought at that time. I know there are exceptions among idols too. Oh yeah, in the meantime, in 2012, the worldwide viral
Gangnam Style
is
is
the
solo.
most viewed video on the planet.
Yeah.
Next to
Gangnam
its
Style.
addictive, hilarious dance and beat. It got a number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. This was basically the first time
Wasn't
that
no,
the
like,
entire
one?
world notices a country called South Korea.
Oh
and
my
K-pop
God,
without
everyone was
having to
dancing
mention
this
nukes
in
and this
school.
dude. And
I
that's
remember.
North Korea, by the way. In the third gen, despite the
Literally
influx of
on
idol groups, the only
a
ones
annual
that survive
concert,
are
there was
groups
a
that have
guy who
amazing
danced
music quality
Oppa
or
Gangnam
musical
Style.
talent or something different. Because the Korean market is so small and saturated, it now becomes a norm to have at least
Hey,
more than
Blackpink.
one global English-speaking member in the group. This member usually is in charge of speaking during
Oh.
overseas interviews and tours.
So RM
Not
is
only
probably for, like,
member-wise,
BTS.
but
They
marketing
all
and
speak English
music-wise,
now,
the
though.
attention
Yeah, they all
becomes
speak
more
English now.
globalized too, testing out new markets such as South America. In the meantime,
Most
the
of them
public
actually
and
speak
entertainment
really good
companies want a
English.
system to get the best quality idols out there,
Oh.
and that is by
That's
following
why
the
so many
TV
suffer-
trend by making TV auditions survival
Americans,
programs with
like
worldwide
K-pop.
contestants. This
'Cause
system
they were
allows idols to
promoting
gain
it over there.
publicity even before debut, and also verify popularity and talent. Although audition programs such as Produce 101 to Produce X have been extremely popular, it got caught in a corruption and manipulation issue recently, which
Hey.
likely put out the credibility and support towards these survival programs. Now, to name a few groups that are leading the third generation currently, definitely the girl group Trinity, Twice, Blackpink, Red Velvet. JYP's girl group Twice has earned the absent nation's girl group title since Girls' Generation, along with major hit songs that dominated Korea and Japan.
Right,
mostly
Twice
like
has been
Cheer
here
Up,
for
TT,
quite a while.
Knock
Yeah.
Knock, Likey, and Fancy. Interestingly, these girls were also
True.
a result of an audition program called 16. YG's girl group Blackpink has the record of most
Blackpink.
YouTube views, 56.7
Yeah.
million in
Blackpink
24
crazy.
hours, with its Kill This Love music video topping Ariana Grande. Their music videos have this much views each, which saves my time on trying to explain and prove their popularity. Also, they're the highest charting female K-pop group on Billboard Hot 100 and
Yeah.
200. Plus, they had an epic stage at Coachella.
It's just
too.
their music's so
SM girl
catchy,
group
you
Red
know.
Velvet might not be as big as the former two in size, but is always praised by the public and critics for their unique sound and high-quality songs. Time Magazine has highlighted their versatile musical style and named them as one of the best K-pop groups. Billboard agreed too in 2019. Fun fact, Red Velvet
Interesting.
was the first K-pop group to perform in North Korea, and Kim Jong-un adjusted
What?
the schedule to go see
What
them.
group was
Now,
this?
let's not
Red
try to leave
Velvet
out many
performed
in North
talented,
Korea.
hard-working girl groups such as Mamamoo, Momoland, Luna, IZ*ONE, G-Idol, CLC, Dreamcatcher, G-Friend, Lovelyz, Oh My Girl, 우주소녀, 공원소녀,
They're
Evergirl,
all so
Wiki
good, though.
Miki, and more. As for
But there's
boy
so
groups,
many.
it's
One
hard
more.
to pick a definitive popularity or impact, but just to name a few, 17, NCT, GOT7, Winner, iKON, Monsta X, AT,
But, like,
Stray Kids
take
are
it-
definitely the biggest and most popular globally. Most of these groups actively go on world
Wait.
tours and appear on Western
BTS?
TV shows nowadays. And then there are
Yeah,
groups such
obviously
as
BTS.
Baby, Impact, Victon, Astro, Pentagon, SF9, The Boys, Ace, JBJ, Golden Child, Intuit, UMB, Very Very, ONEUS, and more. So many girl groups, boy groups, mixed groups, new global audience, thus
Why-
various music styles.
why
as
didn't he
well.
mention
you name
BTS?
it, K-pop has it.
Maybe
oh,
Gen
you don't
4?
like groups,
I
super
don't
produced
know.
No,
modern
they're Gen
electronic
3.
music? Maybe try IU out.
Maybe
She's
he has a
Korea's nation's
separate-
sister and also nation's
IU!
singer. Been around
Oh,
since
yeah. IU's
2008 with
huge.
numerous ballad and K-pop hit songs.
She's been here for a long time,
Single-handedly
too.
has the popularity equivalent to
I think
K-pop's
BTS will
biggest
have their
idols.
own, like,
Then there's
thing.
K-pop R&B, a whole
IU
scene
is
of its
super
own.
cute.
Maybe check out Zico, who has an overlap background with K-pop.
Yeah.
Then there's rock. Maybe check out bands like Day6
Rock.
and Flying the Rose, and and more. So, it's already 2020, technically 10 years have passed again, and the line is blurring between 3rd gen and 4th gen. Then what would be
now
the
4th
standards
gen
of
is coming
dividing the
out.
generations? I can't be the one deciding, but just to add my personal 2 cents, maybe the line could be drawn by observing groups that start off already with a bigger fandom globally rather than domestically in Korea from the
That's
pre-debut
crazy.
and rookie phase. In short, maybe no more validation or dependence from Korean fans needed, or there's an alternative view of simply drawing the line by post-BTS. And yes, I know
Yeah.
people are screaming, what? Not a single mention of BTS until now, but hold
Ah,
on
that's
a
what I
little
was
bit more.
saying.
I have a whole buffet for you. Well, anyways, this whole generation dividing process is a whole debate subject of its own, so let's just leave it there and throw it to the
BTS
comment section.
3.5?
Finally, there is one group that needs a thorough separate section in K-pop
Wait.
history, and it is BTS.
Yeah.
BTS started off from a small company called Big Hit under the producer named Bang Si-hyuk, who was a former colleague and good friend to JYP, but split paths to make his own company.
My
Bang
guy
Si-hyuk
did it
had
himself.
7 members originally and planned to make a
He hit the gold
However,
mine
the
with
concept
them.
and musical style
Yeah.
diversified over the years. BTS didn't gain much attention during their first years, often getting mocked by their group
Trap.
name that means Bulletproof
Mic
Boy
drop.
Scouts, and apparently some or many people thought their appearances were unpretty. However, BTS differentiated themselves with other idols by speaking about the unspoken in their lyrics, such as mental health, youth problems, social issues, and the journey towards loving oneself. BTS also
Yeah,
made their
those
own
stuff are,
universe
like,
and
not
story in their
popular in
music
Korea.
videos. They made
People
modern
don't like
success
talking
until they
about
got
mental health
mainstream with
and
their
stuff.
songs like I
it's
Need
not really
You,
a
Go,
thing in
Save Me,
Asian
and Fire.
culture until recently.
After
He's
that,
mixing
everything
on the
they did
gas.
pretty much became history. They topped the Billboard 200 charts 4
Turn
times in a
up
row
the heat.
alongside the Beatles, appeared on multiple major American TV shows, got
Yeah.
awarded by the Billboard
They're
Music
definitely
Awards,
like the
AMAs multiple
biggest,
times, did a
you
Grammy
know,
Yeah.
act, did a
across the
UN
whole
speech,
world.
did a cover
They
of
speak
Time,
English well
had
too.
stadium world tours including Wembley and Saudi
Whoa,
Arabia, sold over 20 million
massive.
cumulative albums to this date. BTS
Crazy.
has become so big that they become expressed as the BTS or Korean invasion, just like the British invasion from the Beatles by multiple critics and journalists. Many point out that it's even more significant regarding the fact that BTS's music and lyrics were not in English but in Korean. Also started off as underdogs in the K-pop industry itself, struggling without the support of big capital nor media. In the
Yeah.
meantime,
Because they
there
were
might
like
have been
with
attempts
that
to
one
compete
guy.
with
Small
BTS, for
company.
example, SM making their own Avengers by combining members from existing successful groups like SHINee, EXO, NCT into a collaborative single group called Super M. Well, they did get the number one on
Super M?
Billboard 200, but many people criticized the method of bundling issues in the process. However, industry-wise, it was a fresh attempt that never happened in K-pop history,
Interesting.
trying to officially combine
Didn't even
members
hear
from
about that.
different groups into
Yeah,
one
same.
with an agenda to make success in the American or global market. And it is these new attempts that fuel K-pop to go further on. Anyways, back to BTS, it's not an
I
overstatement.
think it's really cool how it evolved from like this
Ballad
Yeah.
folk song.
and before that it was the 3 guys, right? The 3 guys that started it and then they disappeared.
Yeah,
That was like-
SeoTaiji and his group.
Yeah, the Gen 1, let's say,
Yeah.
and then Gen 1.5 was all the soloists, all the like
Yeah.
ballad singers and so on, and then it kind of evolved into more like poppy style. And then Gen 2 was crazy as well, with a lot of like
Gen 2 I think is where I was at.
yeah, they had a lot of like these big groups that are kind of still around, or at least their songs are still very popular.
I mean to say that BTS is probably bigger than all of K-pop combined at this point. However, from SeoTaiji to BTS, many groups existed, and every time records were broken, people were surprised. Back then, no one imagined anything bigger than TVXQ, Girls' Generation, Big Bang, EXO, Gangnam Style. But here we are,
Yep.
K-pop is still evolving. The market is getting bigger and it's
Huge.
becoming more well-known all around the world. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what
Yeah,
happens
everyone
in the
doing
future.
K-pop dance covers.
Will it just disappear as a trend or get even bigger like it always
I
has?
guess we'll see. So yeah, guys, that was it. The K-pop history in 20 minutes. Obviously, didn't cover everything because it would take for ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting how there's still like this split between. They don't know where the 4th generation begins. You know, they
Yeah.
kind of call it post BTS, but BTS hasn't finished yet. So I guess you guys can let us know your opinion. Anyway, so that was it. If you'd like to see these videos earlier from us reacting to K-pop, obviously head over to Patreon, and also thank you very much to all the patrons over at Patreon. You can also vote who you react to next and stuff like that.
If you guys liked it, thank you so much for watching.
Yep.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.